Man. Morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast Stream. It's a Tuesday. This music is very strange. There, that broke up the monotony. How y'all doing this morning? I ran out of cold cereal, so I'm having hot cereal.
You could have had some of mine. You gonna try one?
Sure. Yeah, okay.
I like them, but they're soggy immediately, so I just eat them.
Mel got Kashi, but doesn't like to eat them with milk because she says that they get soggy immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've never had a bowl of those in milk. The closest thing I've done is probably Frosted Mini Wheats, which are a little bigger than that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they stay pretty firm. So yeah. Mel enjoys this cereal dry. But not all cereal. Here's this one. I haven't had oatmeal in a bit. Oh. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed the Broken Phone, J-Spoke. Broken Phone, real funny. If anyone hasn't seen it yet. It was a very funny one. Oh, Lord. I haven't had this in a bit. I'm not used to the fact that I can't just eat it because it's hot. I don't love that. I wish it were a little cooler. Now finally everyone understands.
What I was laughing at like 3 weeks ago.
Sometimes you gotta close the fridge. I closed the fridge. Yeah, well, we will make more. It's fun. It also takes a little less time than the images version of Broken Picture Phone. And by a little, I mean like a lot. It's a lot fast. I bet it's half the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because an episode of Broken Picture Phone takes like 3 hours to make. And Broken Phone takes like 90 minutes. Marin says we had 12 people. Yeah, so actually, it's actually much faster. Because 12 people in Broken Picture Phone is like over 3 hours. Anyway, yeah, we'll do more of it. Because it's fun. We have a fair bit of stuff recorded right now. But a lot of it's GTA. So, at some point, we'll get some of that out. Yeah, Anish asked when we're doing 1,000 blank white cards. We actually recorded, I don't remember when it was, but we recorded some a long time ago, and the servers broke in the middle of our recording. And so we have like half of an episode, and then we just never went back to do more because it required getting the exact same people together. And we just kept saying, we'll get the exact same people, but really we need to just scrap what we had and start over because it's never going to happen. That's the reason there hasn't been 1,000 blank white cards in months, is because we kept saying, well, once we have this exact setup, it's just, the intro was so good. It was certainly unique. That's why Dan doesn't want to ditch it, and Chaz either, because they really liked the intro. It was unique. I don't know if we'll get a chance to keep it or not. If we do, then it's Scrap the episode, but pipe in the audio of the good part of the intro. Guess that's an option. Anyway. We're running the AC today, but in addition to the AC has a built-in dehumidifier. We're running that too, which will probably make it a little bit louder. But humidity is high. It's 65% humidity in the room, and that's not good. So, you know, we gotta run that today.
But it's cool up here.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. It is... It's cooler than it would be. And I guess, you know, that's what you're aiming for. And I do have it on low. I do have it on low. I could crank that sucker up and it shakes the room. Okay. Yeah, it's 79 degrees.
The humidity outside is 87%. So it feels like 84 outside.
Okay.
So.
Come over here.
Geez, that's humid, Master Wabbit says. It gets worse.
Yeah, it gets a lot worse than that. But it's fine.
Do you want my lap? You do. Hi, baby.
In the summer, our humidity is often
higher.
It's often 100%. Full humidity. When you walk outside, it's like swimming.
Well, yesterday, all of our windows were wet on the outside. Even the ones that don't get rain because they're under the porch.
Yep. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's home. It's home. Whenever we go somewhere, when we come back, when we travel back to South Carolina, when we step out of the airport, it's just like, I'm like, oh. And that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind it. But having high humidity in the house is not ideal.
No.
For a million different reasons. So, we have to keep that low. And the thing is, we only have this, I don't remember what the thing's called now.
Hygrometer.
Is that what it is? Hygrometer. We've only had this hygrometer since winter. So we haven't had a way to measure humidity in the house until now. So whether or not the humidity in the room is being affected by the fact that we're running an AC in here or not, I have no idea. Certainly likely. But fortunately that thing has a built-in dehumidifier, so we'll see. Yeah. I'm still not 100% sold on the air conditioner. The return window is until the beginning of July. We're going to see how this next week goes, because we're going to start getting some days that are in the mid to high 80s. And I wish it would get even hotter, because I really want to know how the thing's going to do when it's hotter. But we'll see. Because some unexpected things. It's loud. I'm running it on low for breakfast stream, but in the day I run it on high to keep the room like cool enough. And it's so loud, especially when the compressor kicks in, that I actually have a hard time working because I can't hear what I'm doing, which was not something I expected when I ordered it. And it's in the other room. The other thing is that it's in the other room, and because it's in the other room, it's not affecting this room as good as it could. It's keeping it cool, but like, how cool will it keep it when it's 95 degrees outside? I don't know, and that worries me. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Mr. Viper says noise canceling headphones. I don't use headphones. I don't want to use headphones. If I can avoid it. I have good headphones. I mean, they're not noise canceling, but I prefer to edit everything and do everything with speakers. One of the reasons is that with how easily I get ear infections, I don't like to wear things on my ears longer than I have to. So if I can avoid it, I want to. I went through basically all of college and wore headphones nonstop. And I just don't want to go back to it. I really don't. Speaking of, I never talked about it. My speakers died. Like a few days ago?
Yeah.
Was it a week ago now? I don't know. It's been a while. Yeah, I was sitting there editing, and all of a sudden my speakers made bad noises. And I was like, cool. And I tried all sorts of stuff. Tried to plug them up in different places and things, and I was like, no, these are broken. So that's neat. Here's this. How long did they last? I've had them for a long time. They're a pair of studio monitors from M Audio, and like in the audio world, they're certainly on the cheaper end. But I got them. I've had them for at least 5 years, if not longer, 5 to 7 years maybe. And they've been good. They've been good. But yeah, it was sad to find out they were dead. Yeah. Anyway, I ordered new ones. They should I think they'll be here today. I didn't know exactly what to get because I haven't had to look into this stuff for a long time. And I found some online. I was like, oh, I think these would be good. And I was like, oh, you know who does the music and who may have an opinion on this is Jules. So I reached out to Jules. I was like, hey, Jules, my studio monitors died. I need to buy some new ones. I researched a little bit, and these came up, and I was like, I just want to know your opinions. And he was like, these are the ones I use. And I was like, okay. Noted. So at least I know I'm getting some that are pretty good. His are a little bit bigger. His are, he has 8-inch speakers, monitors. Mm-hmm. I'm getting the 5-inch one because the gains that I would get out of the 8-inch ones are not worth the cost to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not making music. I'm just making content. So we'll see. They'll be here today. I gotta tell you, it's been a pain in the butt because I've been editing vlogs with the built-in iMac speakers. They're really not bad. But if you've been editing with studio monitors, when you go from those to iMac speakers, you can tell. You're like, oh, this does not sound the same. And then you question every decision you're making. You're like, does this sound good? A little different.
You edit mine on Mac speakers.
I know. One day I'll hook up speakers to yours and I'll be like, oh no! It's fine. It's fine.
You go, baby.
You want to read alerts?
I can, yeah.
Just because I'm still oatmealing.
We have a subscription from Mikey Cat 1000. Welcome.
Okay, well I can't eat and click for you.
But I have the cappy. Chaz can click.
Chaz can click. Chaz will do it. Chaz can do it from space.
JPod93 subscribed. Welcome. Disaster Lives in Me sent 300 bits. So I work construction, and on Monday around 9 p.m. Pacific, somehow the temperature dropped low enough for a couple minutes I could see my breath. It's cold.
It's too cold.
For June. Nazario123 subscribed at 7 months. Thank you.
It's too cold in general, but it's definitely too cold for June.
Bones Brian subscribed at 8 months. And we also have 17 months from Wilhelm Heinlein. And 20 months from Lord Zelkov.
Probably Zelkova.
Thank you. Sorry, I have a cat pushing his head into my chin.
That's true.
Rezka Sekane subscribed at 10 months.
Ariza.
Thank you.
Chaz. I guess I'm in space.
Vegetable Sorbet subscribed at 29 months. Oh, almost to 30. That Meat Chick subscribed at 13 months. And we have 14 months from the Bassoonist. 13 months from White 15 Wolf. 31 months from Arian 661. Okay, we're not to 3 years yet.
That's 36.
I know. Nara Akitsune resubscribed at 13 months. We have 13 bits.
13 bits?
3,000 bits from Adrian Kell. Second shot has
300.
been... Thank you.
You know what? I'm all done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take over.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
It's... I have a kepi, and I am tired and have not had coffee yet. It's just here. And now I can't,
Can I
because
have a sip of this?
Yeah.
I didn't get myself a drink this morning because I was like, I won't need it, but I would like one sip.
Oh, suddenly purring.
Oh, shoot. I mean, it was a sip, but that's the first time I've had caffeine of any kind in several weeks. It's fine. Yeah, get caffeine challenge, man. I didn't even think about it. I was like, have things in mouth.
Hi.
I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. I don't know that a single sip counts. How far have I gotten, by the way?
On what?
On the, like, when did I start?
Oh.
Does someone know when I started? Because I can't remember exactly. It's definitely been like 3 weeks? 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Coffee!
It's probably been 3 weeks. Soiled it! Soiled it! Oh, it's gotta been like 3 weeks now, right? I think it was like 3 weeks. Anyway. The intention is not to stay off of caffeine forever. The intention is to stay off caffeine until I fix my sleep, and I'm basically there. 22, 20. Okay, so a little over 3. Oh, I've done well. Yeah, I'm probably gonna give it another. I'll probably give it another week, just so I can say I made it to a month. Except for everyone that was here on breakfast stream and was like, I watched him take a sip of caffeine. Aside from that, I'll try and make it a month. So I get another week or so. Yeah. So remind me next Tuesday, maybe next Thursday. I don't know, one of the two. Yeah, let me know in chat next week. Be like, yeah, you can have coffee, and I'll be like, okay, and I'll make the decision then, because that'll be a month, and as long as I've been sleeping good for a few days, I'll probably have coffee again.
Do you see this little baby?
Because I have been sleeping good. Yeah, he's real curled up. Anyway. All right, 300 bits from Adrian Keller says, second shot has been fairly tame for me 3 days in. Maybe it's because I basically had a full week of deep hurting when I got COVID. Fingers crossed it doesn't get worse. Bummy. Yeah, from what I've understood, if you ended up having COVID, your first shot feels like...
I think that's the general consensus for people.
Yeah. Is that the first shot hits more like a ton of bricks and the second shot is a little more tame.
Coffee!
Again, as with all of these things, your mileage may vary. 300 bits from Squid says, I feel like I only do alerts just to hear clown.
Oh, sorry, kitty cat.
Oh, well.
I scared you.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I touched your foot you did not like.
Is he okay now?
Now he's purring even harder.
He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it from the terror. 16 months from Raven0765. Thank you. 300 bits from Aldo says, can we get a reminder of how many legs Kepi has for the people who missed Friday's stream?
A lot.
At least 2. We don't know exactly how many, but at least 2. Horses, however, have 4 legs. Also, if you missed Friday's stream, I mean the VOD is on Twitch, so you can watch it. But it's good. We finished Breath of the Wild. we breathed wildly for a year, but now we've stopped. Or now we're breathing normally. Maybe that's it. We'll be back with more Breath of the Wild. We're gonna do one more week of Breath of the Wild next week, probably, to do the Trial of the Sword 3. So like somewhat soon. This Friday, however, we're going to be doing Game Builder's Garage. Game Builder's Garage comes out on Friday, and I want to play it because I want to see what it's like. So we're going to be streaming that. So if you're like, I would really like to see what that's about, me too. Join us on Friday.
My hair is getting all tangled in his face.
Yeah, their alert says Dreams, but for Switch. Basically, yeah. Nintendo's answer to Dreams. And it doesn't look as complex as Dreams, but also it looks like you can actually use the thing, because Dreams was really hard.
Yeah.
It was really, really hard. Amelia's opinions on how I pronounce the word. Garage.
I didn't say that.
How many syllables does is it 2 or 3?
Leave or leave it.
2.
Okay.
It's a garage. G-R-A-J. Garage. It's a garage. It's fine. 25 months from Xenoblade Fanatic. 500 bits from Mech Mayhem says, hey grandparents, yesterday I handed in my thesis, and now I'm done with my MSc in cybernetics and robotics, moving back home July and starting a full-time developer position in August. Exciting times ahead.
Congratulations.
Nice. Congrats, Mech. It's gotta be very, empowering to hand that in and be like, holy crap, it's over. So, congrats. That's really, really cool. We got 10 months from Cody the Positron. 20 bits from Xenoblade says, good morning, grandparents. I've been getting into animation lately. God, it's a long process, but it's worth it in the end. Have a wonderful day. I've always loved animation, but I've stayed away from it for exactly that reason. It's very time consuming.
Yeah.
It's very, very time consuming. Even to do something like rudimentary. It takes forever. 500 bits from Mech says, as a follow-up, it was a rough year for academics like most things, but thank you both for all the great content to keep me entertained and sane. I'm working through the Breath of the Wild VODs now, and I'm on 26 currently. Okay, so you're probably just a little bit further than the YouTube version? I think? Yeah. I try to remember. So I have all the VODs, and I give Dan VODs as he needs them, like as he's working through them, and I think I just gave him 23. Yeah. Oh, and Platinum Peaches says YouTube's currently on stream 23, so that backs that up. Yeah. I think I gave him VOD 23, and I guess I need to give him like VOD 24. So yeah, it's probably about halfway. That being said, I don't know that the current episode count on YouTube is the halfway mark, because more is going to get cut the further the series goes on. Because anyone that watched near the end knows that there's a lot of like sitting around.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like, oh, when the blood moon. So you probably can't just double it. You probably have to subtract some. I don't know. I think it's going to clear 200 episodes though. I don't know how much further it'll get past that, but I think it'll probably get past 200. 16 months from Dragon Girl 2571. Lost Vagabond gives a sub to is that Malier? 26 months from Colin DP. 3 from Jefferson 314. Good morning. At the start of this week, I found out that my job has decided to hire me on full-time after working with them through a contractor agency, and I couldn't be happier. Nice.
Awesome. Nice.
That is some good news at the beginning of the week. Fantastic. I hope that you continue to, enjoy working with them. That's one of the things that's most important. Is that you don't have to be in love with your job, but as long as you don't hate your job. So I think that's the threshold. GamerGirl2108 from Iowa gives a sub to Jefferson314. Very nice. Trademark 13 hits 14 months. Zachman103 gives a sub to Sab Irene. That was very nice. 10 months from Disaster Lives in Me. 11 months from Wonderlive. 300 Bits from Line Rider says, watching from my new phone I bought on Thursday because my last one was acting up. Also, I bought an all-over Kept shirt yesterday. It's generic enough to not look like internet merch, which is why I usually never buy anyone's merch. That's fair. Actually, it's one of the reasons I like that shirt is because it really has nothing to... I mean, it has... I guess it's Kepler. But it's also just a cat. People like cats. So, you know, if you like cats and you're like, I don't really want internet merch, but I want cat merch. Currently, until the end of June, we have cat...
A Kep shirt.
Yeah, I was going to say cat merch, but I said Kep merch. But both are true. Neither of those statements are mutually exclusive. Yeah, no, it says subtle George culture under it. Yes. That's what we're going for. 300 Bits from Trademark 13. I woke up at 7 this morning, went back to sleep, woke up at 1 p.m., said that I missed the stream. I watched the VOD, woke up from a dream, it was almost 9 a.m., so started to get ready for breakfast stream, woke up from that dream, realized it was about an hour from stream. Am I still dreaming?
I wonder that too.
Are you taking, I mean, not just melatonin, but a lot melatonin? I'm not entirely sure. I haven't looked at if there's any research on this to see if there's actually a correlation between lots of melatonin and crazy dreams, but it certainly feels that way whenever I've been taking it. I actually stopped taking it. Trademark says I am not. Okay. I had been taking melatonin. I started with 10 milligrams, which was too much. I slept, and then I slept the next day too. I started with 10, which was too much. I moved down to 5, and I took 5 for a few days, and it was still too much because I was falling asleep the next day for a little bit. Then I moved to 3, and I was taking 3 for a little while, and I was still having a few little issues where I was falling asleep the next day. So I finally cut out the melatonin after having used it for probably like 7 to 10 days, and I think I'm good now. I'm good now.
I cannot take it.
You can't take it?
Last time I tried to take that, or I needed Benadryl for whatever reason, I have restless leg syndrome, so it makes it worse.
Oh,
so
I
I
see.
did not sleep, and I was very drowsy.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, it seems to help me. You know, your mileage may vary, and the amount of milligrams you need may vary.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it tends to help me stay asleep, and then also make me very drowsy the next day. So.
Cassie says other people with RLS can't take Benadryl. I thought it was just a thing I did. No, it does something with the levels in your brain, and it makes it worse. So.
Interesting.
Avoid that and Benadryl and like Tylenol PM and NyQuil PM. Yeah.
And yeah, there's melatonin that comes in lower dosages, like 1. I think at this point I'm just going to be off of it. I went from 10 to 5 to 3, and like it's helped me. And even when I was taking a lot and I was sleeping a lot, I didn't mind, because my issue for the longest time was like I did not sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just did not. I was not sleeping, and even if I have to sleep, like not only through the night, but also a little bit the next day in the day, like it doesn't bother me too bad, because I just had not slept. But now I've slept. Maybe it was hard. It was good,
Hey, my painting's out.
but it was hard. Oh yeah, your painting's out.
We meant to mention it Friday that it would be out Saturday, but we never did.
I'm sorry.
Except at the very end after the double raid. So.
That both went to Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mal's painting is out. Renee's got the link for you.
I think that might be the last one.
Oh. Well, they'll update it, and then
Yeah.
it'll be the right one. Although, on that note, if you want to see Sonic, it's also up. Yeah, the latest painting, which is super new, which is why it's not in Nightbot yet, is Donkey Kong Country. It's from Pine Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How long is that auction on for?
Saturday.
Till this Saturday? Okay, so you got a few days if you're interested in the actual piece. Send it to all of your Donkey Kong Country loving friends and relatives. You might have some. I do. 300 bits from Platinum Pikachu. So this morning I got my first jab booked. It's on Friday morning, so hopefully I'll wake up in time and it'll all go well. Also, I normally go for a ha-he-ha-he-hi, but today I want to honk. Sometimes you want to honk. Also, yeah, good luck. Hope that all goes well. It probably will.
Yeah.
Probably will. 300 bits from Ice Chocobo says, since you don't like the cold, the next ChefCon won't be in Antarctica. I mean, that's completely true.
I think it'd be fun to do a ChefCon up north Wisconsin, like in a cabin.
I thought you were
If we
going to
rent
say...
out a cabin, either in the summer so we can, like, have jet skis or kayaks or whatever and do campfires, or in the winter, and then we could see, like, the northern lights, maybe, or the Milky Way, up where there's, like, no light pollution.
I mean, I've always wanted to do that, to be honest.
Mech, I want to go to Svalbard so bad. I listened to a whole podcast on it by Sam Denby, who does Wendover Half as Interesting. It was really good.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As folks are quick to point out, I do not like the cold. But I would be willing to deal with the cold to see some interesting things.
Yeah.
I don't want to go skiing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no part of me that's like, oh, good, winter sports.
In the fall, I want to take a long weekend to the Outer Banks because there's no light pollution there either.
There's a link for the new Mel Makes video. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, I want to go to the Outer Banks like in the fall, like November, because there's no light pollution there either.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not...
A lot closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to... Okay. Yeah, I would be totally fine with that. That seems fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. I went on a ski trip once and stayed in the lodge. Drank hot chocolate. Played some card games with folks.
Game Boy?
Final Fantasy 1+2 had just come out on Game Boy Advance, I think, and played that. Anyway, but not Antarctica. Probably wouldn't go to Antarctica.
Svalbard?
Svalbard would be fine.
And go to Longyearbyen? It's a town in Svalbard.
Yeah, decreasingly, I'm not going to be able to identify the words you're saying, but yes, yeah, that'd be fine. 10 months from Raging Gymnast. 3 months, it's a plus. From Zatoichi. 10 months from Deranged Anime. 11 months from A Lover's Rose. We got 21 months from Night Owl 20. And 300 bits from Danny X6 who says, might have shared this already, maybe a grandpa moment. But my theater friend is directing a show for the first time, and she asked me to choreograph it. I'm pumped and nervous.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I mean, you're obviously going to be nervous because it's like, oh man, I get to do this thing. But first off, you'll kill it. It's the first thing. And then second off, it'll be really exciting because any of that like directorial thing, like where I'm trying to explain exactly what I mean. Whether it's choreography, whether it's directing a film and directing actors, whether it's composing and then seeing like an entire orchestra play your music, like all of that stuff is really exciting because you are putting in the effort to create this thing, and then you leave it in the hands of other people, and you get to see the thing that you made but being performed by other people. And there's a really cool, I don't know, effect in doing that, where it gives you a better chance to reflect on what you've done by watching other people perform it, if that makes any sense. Anyway, that's really neat. And I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that your theater friend enjoys directing a show, because that's exciting too. It'll be exciting. I think what I said made sense. I like that idea of whenever you've put something together and you see other people
Your
do
school
it.
had a theater program, but they dropped it, right? Right before you were able to be in it, right?
Saying theater program is a little that's probably taking it a little far. We had drama classes, and I took the drama classes, but I only had them for half of a semester, half of a year, and then the drama teacher left, and then there just was no more drama classes. It was just gone. I was like, oh, which is a shame because I enjoyed it, and I would have just kept doing that forever. That's fine.
I got to be in pit orchestra once. It was real fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was like, I think it was summer after junior year of high school. There was a youth theater group doing Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew someone who was in it, and they were like, hey, we need someone to play bass clarinet, will you play? Yep. And that was the first time I'd ever done that. And like the key for the bass clarinet for that part was insane. I'd never played such a strange key.
Sorry, I read out.
But I really enjoyed it.
Sorry, that one got me good. I apologize for interrupting your story. 16 months from Shinoff. Thank you. I can't believe that we had on different occasions placed the it's fine. 20 months from Leafly. And 15 months from A Person Dude 1. Thank you. Yeah, when I was in high school, we would do creative writing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my favorite. That was always my favorite part of
English.
Of English.
Same.
Spelling was its own subject, because spelling is its own subject.
I mean, it was an elementary school for me.
Oh, I thought it was also. No, okay, no, you're right. It becomes part of English later on. I was good at spelling, but like, my favorite part of English was always the creative writing, and often when we would do creative writing, we had to share our stories. Sometimes I would get like other classmates. I had some people that like they were good at reading, because some people were good at like
performing.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And like I could do it, but
yeah.
It was really exciting for me to hear someone else read my story.
Yeah.
So I actually had some other folks in the class that sometimes I would ask them to read the story. And it was just fun for me. It wasn't a requirement to have someone else do it, but I was like, so-and-so, will you read this? And they'd be like, yeah. And that was just enjoyable. I like creative writing.
We had a new English teacher one year, like brand new, fresh out of college.
Yeah.
And she taught creative writing, and she did some sort of literature class that I took both classes, and they were both great. We also had a teacher who taught a mystery fiction class.
Yeah.
So we were like reading mysteries and like learning about red herrings and different things in the story, and we had to write our own. It was good.
Mr. Gameboy asked what I was laughing at. Adudo made a comment that we could just get another teacher from Walmart, just because when I was in high school, we replaced one of our teachers. We replaced our science teacher. What subject was it? Chemistry? Biology?
You told me it was bio.
It was probably bio. We ended up replacing a teacher that left halfway through the year with
the optometrist?
Yeah, and I don't know if they were an
optician or
an optometrist, but they worked in the eye department at Walmart, and that was their credentials. And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, I'm trying not to judge this person. I was like, maybe there's some sort of overlap in biology and optometry. And I was like, that's how I'll live with this. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. 300 bits from Will A. Peters that says, in terms of your writing, didn't you write how you speak? That Alex would get wildly mad at you when grading your papers? Yeah, so that's probably one of the reasons I'm much better at creative writing than formal writing. There's a certain expectation and format when doing formal writing, and a certain way in which you have to write. And Alex is much better at that. And I am much better at casual writing. And I would write my papers very casually, and Alex would tear them apart. And that was fine. But whenever I have to write casually, I do extremely well. So it just depends what. Well, the great thing is I'm an adult. Did you know I will have been out of college for 10 years on Friday? I think it's this Friday. I'll have been graduated from college for 10 years, and I don't ever have to do another formal paper.
Probably.
Don't say that.
I just wrote one.
Well,
and it was 9 pages.
Okay, that's it's fine. It's fine. Probably won't.
I had to use citations and everything.
Since he says you are a business, Steve, I know, and my business is not in writing. I have not had to do a formal paper in 10 years. Also, if I had to do a formal paper, I just wouldn't do it. Like, I would just write it casually. The tone would I would just be like, whoever this goes to, just suck it up. This is how I'm writing it. I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. I'm not writing it in some sort of special style for you. I've been out of school forever. No. I'm going to write it. I'm actually just going to have an instant message chat with myself and just submit the log and be like, here, it's a bulleted list. I just can't think of a situation in which I would have to write a formal paper at this point.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not impossible, I guess. What is even this game says? Do you write emails informally as well? Absolutely. 1000%. Everything is in my head that flows out my mouth. Setsy, correct. 100% correct. And like, writing informally is not, it's not like it's illegible. It's not, it just means that you don't follow the uptight standards of the stuff they want you to do in school.
Academia.
Yeah, that's all that means. It's perfectly, in fact, I'd argue it's more readable. Like, it's more readable than a formal paper. It's better for just chilling out. Like, you're sitting there like, I'm just chilling out, want to read this email. Perfect, I got you. Anyway, I have strong opinions. I have strong opinions about writing and reading. But yeah, Alex was better at that, and that's why he graded the paper. That's fine. He did a great job. He just cut his hair.
Yeah, he did.
I wish I had a photo. Although even if I did, I don't have his permission to like show
it.
photos, so I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, he just cut his hair because he grew his hair out for the pandemic. Also, he never got a haircut, and he just got a haircut.
It was about as long as yours, but straighter.
Yeah, we have different
hair texture.
Yeah, hair texture.
Does he still have the beard? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about mine. I mean, we're done with Breath of the Wild, right? So like
well,
that
you still have the trial sword, the third trial. Are you gonna wait to decide? Okay.
Yeah. And like I have another thing I want to do while I have long hair. So But am I gonna cut it? I mean, increasingly, I'm like, I just got it. I do like it though. Like there's headbang like that. No headbanging. No one should ever headbang. Don't headbang. Just don't do it. Don't even think about it. If you have the thought cross your brain and you're like, should I headbang? Just do not do it, because it might be the day you induce vertigo, and then you'll regret it.
I had my hair in a ponytail the other day, and I was whipping it in a circle. And
I was
Steven
having
was
a heart
like,
attack.
Don't.
I physically grabbed Mallory's head and stopped her from shaking her head. I was like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please. Because you have not had it, and if you get it, you'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, right? The whole world just goes. Listen, we mosh, but casual, just like our writing style. Thank you, Brandon. Like, I can't stop anyone. I can't stop anyone from, headbanging. But I will say that if you experience vertigo, you'll quickly realize why I'm so particular about it, because it's terrible. It's awful. I can only stop Mal, so that's why I have to do it. But yeah, whenever I see like Jack doing the it's actually physically hard for me to watch. I'm like, I cannot look. It's fine. He's gonna have to, if he ever gets vertigo, we'll have to change his phrase from "let's open up this pit" to "let's rattle these crystals." Let's rattle these crystals! Anyway, I'm fine. Shake, shake. Hey,
Yeah.
I was going to talk about something I just forgot.
Things that are happening this week?
A little early for that, but...
Okay.
But I'll remember it shortly. I can talk about the things that are happening this week now, but yeah. I'll run this. These beans they're slightly stale.
Yeah.
Slightly stale beans. I'll have fresh beans for Thursday. For those who aren't aware, the how fresh the beans are is fully dependent on whether the first of the month's vlog has come out. That's actually how it works. So if you're like if you join Patreon as a producer and you're like, my name's not on the list, you can always figure out why, or if it's going to be there if the first vlog of the month is out. Because June 1st isn't out yet, that's why I don't have any new names in there. Once your name's in there, though, it's just in there, which is really helpful. But until I get it in there, that's how you do it. Yep. Colin says, I didn't realize you did it that way. Yeah. So Chaz actually built me a web interface for it, which is really great. So I can pull the data from Patreon, and I run it through this web interface, which gives me the list of names, which is way better than the way I used to do it, which was manually look at every single person.
That's what I do.
Chaz is going to be mad at you now for.
Well, now I can export a spreadsheet.
CSV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to do it by hand, and Chaz was like, we have computers, and I was like, but how do they work? I don't know how a computer works. So he made me a thing that pulls all the names out, which is obviously an insane time saver, and is also more accurate than the way I could do it, because it's a computer, and a computer just knows things. But whenever I pull that information, I do two things with it. For one, I save the data online, which is what makes the Patreon ticker work on stream, and then I simultaneously take that data, format it correctly, and then make a video file, and the video file is what gets put on the first of the month. But I ended up I don't have to do I don't have to do it until I'm working on that vlog, and that's just always been my indication of like when I should be doing it. And that's why it doesn't show up until after the first of the month. Yeah. Now you know.
Ooh, the humidity's going down. Good.
Oh yeah, it was at 65% earlier, and now it's at 61%.
The arrow on the hygrometer has gone from rising to steady. So hopefully they'll start falling a little bit, and then we can turn off the humidity. Dehumidifier.
Dehumidifier. Oh, it went up to 62.
We're talking about it.
Don't look at it. 300 bits to run out of spell Squirtle with the George Chaz star rating. Thank you. And also, praise Chaz. And then,
Setsy says Chaz's entire life is stopping Grandpa.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Chaz does a lot to try and save. I mean, it's stuff that, like, I've gotten better about thinking about the fact that you can do that stuff, you know, because it's hard for me to think through, like, oh, you can automate this. But I'm getting better about it. As time goes on, there's more that if I'm working on something, I can be like, hold on. Maybe Chaz can save me time. But a few years ago, I did not even like think about that at all. And I would say something to Chaz, and Chaz would be absolutely horrified. And he'd be like, well, how long does it take you? I'd be like, oh, it's really not that bad. It's like 2 or 3 hours. And he'd be like, you do realize that could be like a button press. And I'd be like, that's impossible. And he'd be like, it's not. It's fine. 300 bits from Satsy says, when I first joined university around November, I got my first and only real case of vertigo for 2 weeks. I just gotten the new Game Boy Micro, so I blamed that. Half a year later, my eyes pointed in 2 directions, but never mind that for now. Toasty. I mean, I could see you blaming the Game Boy Micro because that would have been like, you know, the newest thing. You're like, oh, well, that's what happened. But yeah, not probably not related. But yeah, Vertigo sucks, and it's one of those things that's really hard to explain to people too. You know, like if you've had it, then you get it. So then you have like just solidarity with other people that have had it, and you're like, yep, okay.
There was one morning I got up and I had gone to get something off the front porch that was mail, and I just like fell over. Since we've lived here, so I knew it was vertigo, but like that was it. I never had any more.
Had you just gotten out of bed, or had you been up for a while?
No, I had just gotten out of bed.
Oh. I mean, I get that too. Like if I get out of bed and I've just gotten out of bed, then I'm still waking up. You know, I got up this morning. I'm trying to do stretches now. I haven't really talked about that, but I'm trying to do some stretches to keep me from experiencing pain. I woke up this morning, I was doing my stretches in bed, then I got out to do some stretches on the floor, and like I walked up to the door frame to do some stretches, and like I almost like fell over. Like I almost just like, and that wasn't vertigo, that wasn't any sort, that was just like, I got out of the bed and my brain was still in the bed. Yeah. And I was like, no, brain, we're standing now. And brain's like, I'm so sorry. I thought we were still over there. And I was like, no, we're standing. So that sort of thing happens. Let's see. 300 bits from Goldmage162 says, oh yeah, I finished paying off one of my student loans back in April. So I celebrated by becoming a producer/collector on both channels at the end of May. So you might almost finish crushing my bean self and adding me to the roast.
Congratulations on paying off a loan. That's awesome.
Yeah, congrats on that. But also, I'm reeling from the comedy of that's what happened. I'm making coffee with everyone. That's what's happening.
They're green coffee beans. They need toasted.
Roasted. Is it toasted or roasted? Also, what is the difference between toasting and roasting?
I've only ever seen that once in my life when Jeff did it, and it felt very much like toasting because of how Jeff did it, but I think the word is roasting.
Well, it's roasting. It is
Yeah.
roasting. With coffee, it's roasting. But my question is, what is the difference between toasted and roasted?
Roasted is like longer.
Satsy says toasted gets both sides. Roasted is in a pan. Always, though? I have no real idea. Luna Pearl says one's in a toaster, one's in a roaster.
That's a good point, Night Owl. Toasting is just surface, roasting is all the way through.
So you start with a... Does that mean that you can't get roasted without getting toasted? It's true though, right? Because it gets to toasted, and then if you keep toasting, that's when it roasts it.
That sounds right.
Is that not it? That's it. At what point does bread become roast? If your bread has become roast, you have toasted it too long. Like everyone is allowed to experience toast at a different level, but if your toast becomes roast, have you seen those charts that people share online? And it's like toast at different levels of
Yeah, it's like
well,
pick your toast
let
and
me
coffee.
rephrase that. Bread at different levels of toastedness, from like 1 to 10. 11 is roast. It's not shown, but if you
so when
surpass,
you cut it in half, it's just all...
it's char the whole way through. Yeah, if you...
I think that's charcoal.
Yeah, yeah. But that's just applied to bread. Roast would just be cooking it through. So it's different than, like a steamed ham. It's not the same. It's different. Anyway. Let's see. We got 300 bits from Disaster Lives in Me. Says, wanted to point out you've skipped a lot of alerts. We haven't skipped alerts. We changed how we did it, where we're no longer reading resubs messages. So we still read everyone's names, and your messages are still visible in chat. Yeah. We did that. We probably did that a few weeks ago. And we did that primarily to help out on Fridays, and it has.
Yeah.
It has. It's led to more gameplay getting played, which I think is a win for folks. We got 11 months from Adam BL107. Appreciate it. And then 300 bits from Garkanov says, if your bread becomes roast, you have meatloaf, not just a loaf.
Oh, I haven't had meatloaf in forever.
If your bread becomes...
I'm very picky about meatloaf.
If your bread becomes meatloaf, you have a different problem. If you're baking bread and you bake it too long and you pull it out and it is anything other than bread, you need to call a priest. What's the person that does the demons? Who's the one that does exorcist? I couldn't think of exorcist, so I said priest. Fair, but exorcist was what I was looking for. Exorcist. Also, what a great phone call that would be. Hello, exorcist? I don't know how you talk to an exorcist. I've never called an exorcist. Hello, exorcist? I was baking bread and now it's meat. We'll be right over. Deals with. Sorry, I'm just now imagining an exorcist swinging a crucifix at a meatloaf and say, the power of Christ compels you. Back to bread. I'm just going to be honest, an hour ago when we started the stream, I didn't think that I would get to exorcist performs exorcism on meatloaf, and yet, here we are. Just, really excited about today. We bring the holy olive oil. The really, really good stuff.
You gonna be okay?
Yeah, it was very funny. Some folks have said some stuff today, been very funny. Gold star to Renee. 3 months. From normally normal 7, it's a plus. And 300 bits from Grabobly says, if your toast becomes roast, you got nothing to boast. Also, hi, clown. That really feels like it's a nursery rhyme in training. Also, Tropical Free says the power of crust compels you. Oh, it's getting better. Seriously, by the end of this, we'll have an entire story with all sorts of fun wordplay. Whew. Okay. So like one of the things that makes this work, that makes the experience on Twitch work, is people like tuning into us and they're like, oh, they're funny. But also we play off of chat really well, and we can only do that because they're funny too. That's what I love about this. It's like I'm like, hey, here's this funny thing, and they're like, hey, here's this other funny thing, and I'm like, hey, and then it's just it's fun back and forth. It's great. It's great. Anyway. Anyway.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'm gonna be okay. Seem like it. I'm gonna be okay. Armor Frog gives us up to the Bread Exorcist. That's a name that someone chose.
Hi, Kippy.
I wonder if they had the same conversation when they chose it. They were joking with friends. They're like, hey, if you keep toasting bread, and then it's the same thing. Anyway, let me tell you about this, because we were talking about that. Let me tell you about the stuff happening today. First things first. Big yawn. If you didn't see Mal's video, it is out, and it's great. It's Donkey Kong Country. It's one of my favorite games. And Mal did a really great job with it. If you didn't see Broken Phone, you should watch Broken Phone.
Yeah.
It's also great. We closed the fridge. Today on Stephen Plays, we are continuing the Casino Heist. You'll get Casino Heist stuff for the next few days. Is that it? Otherwise, I'm going to release vlogs. And we will have... We will have... I know I saw folks talking about it before I went live. We will be doing... there will be mail out.
Oh, that's...
It'll be next week, because Dan's out of town, and we have to give it to him physically, because it's too big. So...
We're going to record mail, and then Dan will get it when he gets back, and then he will edit it.
Yeah. Oh, that was subby. It was subby.
Oh, there was a subby.
There was a subby.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either. Did it make the toot sound?
There's
the toot. Yeah. I was like, subby's supposed to make toot sound. Chaz fixed the toot. There's the toot. It's supposed to be that loud. There's the toot. I love the toot. Subby go toot. That was this Danny X6 gifting a tier 3 sub to Bread Priest. Making sure Bread Priest has a subby. Yeah, that was introduced. Was that was last stream? That was on Friday.
Yeah. It was Friday.
Yeah, that was new to us. And Mr. Game Boy showed up, and there were lots of subbies all at once, and it was hilarious and also briefly horrifying, because I was like, what is that sound? What is happening? What is occurring? Anyway, Danny, thank you. Mr. Viper Fang gifts a sub to Bread Meat Bread. Oh, it's a sandwich. Took me a minute. 15 months from Poke Emblem 7. Arian661 gifts a sub to Purple Poyo. We get 300 bits from Fossix, who says, I'm planning on waking up super early on Thursday to view the annular solar eclipse at sunrise, though it seems to be raining all week, so fingers crossed for no rain. I wish you luck. Here it is raining.
For the next forever.
For the next forever, approximately. Yeah, Mr. Game Boy clarifies. Yeah, that was it was a very funny moment. Very funny moment. I actually went back and watched that clip after the stream because I wanted to appreciate it from like the very, very beginning, and like, dear God. And they're like, there's different designs for the subs and stuff. Like, Chaz doesn't tell us anything. He's just like, something will occur and you will have to, you will react to it because you haven't seen it before. Jared Dillon gives a sub to Priest of Yeast. That's a good name. Shout out to that person. That's a good one. I like that. Reader from Satsy says, we need to do a giant Twitch stream with broken phone. Everyone in chat pitches in individually. That reminds me of, there's a, one of the games that they play on Whose Line is Three-Headed, I think it's Three-Headed Songwriter?
Broadway Star.
Or Three-Headed Broadway Star, where they sing a song, but they it's just one word at a time. That's kind of what that reminds me of. That would be a fun thing too. I mean, like as like that we could do.
No.
I think that would be fun. I don't know how we would do that well, but that could be enjoyable. And now Spell Squirtle gives a sub to Exorcist for Hire. Need some work? I know a meatloaf. Sephiroth gives a sub to Tiger64 Guy. Hey, Sephiroth. Leaf473 gives a sub to Trophy Hunter Varg. We also got 6 months from Bonezda. Oh, Demon Clown. 22 months from Binged Gamer. And 16 months from Pickletron. Oh, I just heard Mario's voice. I was like, what? And 300 bits from Judasis. It says, currently packing up my stuff to fly back to Massachusetts. I've been away for a year, and I can't wait to be back. Aw. Well, I hope you have a safe flight.
Yeah.
And then also, I hope packing goes well.
I had a dream where I had to pack up my dorm. Last night I dreamt that I was still in college and I had to pack up my dorm and I had way too many things for my little Kia. And I was like, I'm never gonna fit this all in. I should have done this earlier and packed up things ahead of time. And I had like a whole wall of books and I was like, this is a mistake. I waited until the last day of finals to pack up. I
remember having a wild dream last night, but I can't place it now. I woke up to go to the bathroom around 6:15, and I remember waking up and going, whoa, that was wild. And then by the time I finished going to the bathroom, I was like, I have no idea what that was. But if I wrote it down, I'd never get back to sleep.
Yeah.
You know? That's fine. It's fine. I'll just live with the ideas of, oh, something cool happened. 7 months from Zephyr West. Thanks, Zephyr. Appreciate it. Jadesa says, I have to pack my giant 32-inch monitor still.
Coffee!
Oof. Yeah, that's a big boy. Because it was sometime last year in September. I got a 32-inch monitor, and the box that it came in is insane.
Yeah.
Because they have to make sure that when they ship it, it doesn't break, and it big. Now I saved the box because I was like, when we move someday, how am I going to get this to the next place? I have to keep the box.
Yep.
It's interesting though because the box that like the TV came in is real thin.
Mm-hmm.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
The box that the monitor came in is twice as wide or bigger. I'm not sure why. It's kind of strange. Anyway, Picotron sends 300 bits and says, so besides Eyeball VR Dog, what character or thing in video games do you think are disturbing or scary that they're not supposed to be? Because the squids in Minecraft freak me out. That's a good question. That's something I'd probably have to think about, because when I think about like disturbing stuff in video games, I think back to like some of the childhood trauma of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Things that are not supposed to be scary. I don't know. Like the VR dog is the biggest one. Like absolutely. I guess creepers are supposed to be scary, because creepers have been very frightening to me.
Yeah.
Because turning turning around in a cave and there just being something there is scary. Doesn't really matter what it is, but it's even worse when you're worried that it's going to blow up and it's going to make all of your stuff go away. Max says, didn't Adri really like the VR dog? Yes. Yeah, she did. And I did not.
There was another subby.
I heard it. Yeah, I heard the subby. That was I Know How to Spell Squirtle gifting a tier 3 sub to Boo Painter. Thank you, Squirtle. Boo Painter can enjoy Platinum Toast. You really can't, like, when you hear that sound, like, you know, like, that's...
Yeah.
Satsy says, didn't we also learn Adri and you are polar opposites? Yeah! Actually, I wonder if that's related. Because there was one time Adri had posted her, what's it called?
Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, her Myers-Briggs. And every letter in hers was the opposite of the one that I had taken. I mean, mine probably varies a little bit, but I've taken it before, and I don't remember what mine was, but I remember that mine was literally the opposite of hers. And I was like, so maybe that's why she likes, VR Dog.
Maybe.
I don't remember what mine is. If you want to find out what mine is, you have to find hers. And then it's opposite of that. Good luck, because I don't remember what mine is. Leaf473 gives a sub to Scrumped. It's a good name. It's a cool name. I like that. We got a sub from Kaida Knights. Welcome. 22 months from Bardic Puppy. And 17 months from Ghosty Toasty. Thank you. Oh, snap. And then also, 5 gift subs from another Spell Squirtle to Barajas TM, Benny the G, Aluwu, Spickaloo, and FIFA56. Squirtle, thank you. Everybody getting that calcium. If you didn't have calcium before, now you've got.
Now you do.
Now you have calcium. Yeah, I know my first letter is I. Does that help?
I don't know.
It's depending on when you take it, it'll probably be different.
I think I've taken it 3 times,
and you've had different answers.
No, one of the first and the last time were the same, but the middle time one letter was different.
Yeah. Vagabond says Adrian is ENFP. So whatever the opposite of that is, I guess. But again, mileage may vary. I think when I took it the one time, they said it was logistician.
The one website puts names to them.
One of them gives names, and I think mine was logistician. So, if that lines up to that thing, then
because there was logician and logistician, right?
Oh.
There was 2 names that were close, but yours was the longer word.
Is that how we remember these things now?
That's how I remember it when I go look at the website.
These things are longer words. Yeah. And again, I don't. Yeah. So like Lilac says, Myers-Briggs test is like astrology. So it's one of those things that if it helps you with deeper reflection on yourself and your personality, I think that's good. But as far as using it for some greater purpose, like I wouldn't use it to find soulmates. I wouldn't be like, what's your type? I want to make sure I'm lining up I wouldn't do that. But if it helps you perform any sort of deeper reflection, then I think that's nice. And I think that's just something people need to do in general, is think more about themselves, their personalities, things they like, things they don't like, their aspirations, their dreams. Doing self-reflection and mindfulness, I think, is just good. Mm-hmm. So if that helps you do that, it's also just a fun thing to do. It is a fun thing to do with friends and to be like, yeah, that's Dan. And Dan be like, that's me. Okay. So we already announced all the things that are happening.
Yeah.
So you know the things that are happening. And also, to be fair, that is Dan. That's Dan.
Breakfast.
So, you know. Other things that are happening today.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna. I'll get some. Certainly, I'll get a vlog out again today. It'll be the last vlog with a meal, and they were a little
Longer.
They were a little longer. The beach one took me much longer to. I shot a lot more at the beach. I know that vlog ended up being however long, but I shot a ton at the beach, and I think the main reason behind it was just that I haven't really been anywhere. Like, as a concept, I haven't really been anywhere, done anything, and so it was the first time out somewhere, and it was also the first time out somewhere like with the camera, because I haven't had that camera out anywhere other than like the house. So it was really exciting. I was like, oh, I want to shoot stuff, and I ended up shooting like a ton of stuff, and then I got it into post, and I was like, why did I do this? Why did I shoot so much?
Lost Vagabond says, that reminds me, cat feeder review.
Oh, yeah. Give me a sec. Let me read another alert, and then I will tell you about the cat feeder. We got 1,000 bits from Miragami1027, who says, I got into a fight with my younger sibling, got into legal trouble, so now I'm homeless at 18. Thank you for providing some normalcy at this point in my life. I wish you all the good vibes in the world. All the good vibes in the world. I sincerely hope that you can find a path forward that makes sense for you and your current situation. But from us, and then certainly from chat, we wish you well, and we wish you good vibes. And if it's any consolation, you still have so much life ahead of you from 18. I'm not going to tell you that's an easy situation. I've never been in that situation, and I can't speak from any sort of experience. And I can only imagine how difficult that is. But there's still so much time to turn things around and continue forward. So good vibes. We wish you well, and I hope things work out well. We also have 25 months from Beal Rasmu. Thank you. The feeder.
The cat feeder.
It works. I don't know if that's the level of detail that you want out of a review, but it works. Great review. Thanks. You're welcome.
I have one problem with it.
I was going to talk a little bit more about some things, but yeah, what's your problem with it?
My problem is sometimes it's like, oh, it's not, we need to put more food in, but there's a lot of food in there still.
So
that's one of my problems.
So here's some things about it. It was relatively inexpensive. I think it was $60.
Yeah.
$60 or something like that.
Cheaper than I expected it to be.
Certainly the type of thing that like just a few years ago would have been well over $100. These things have come down in price a lot.
Well, they also didn't really exist. Carly had one.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Carly had one time when we visited her because she needed to get one for Kat. And it was a fish fountain feeder, like to feed fish automatically.
Yeah.
And it was a lot more, and she had to like get PVC pipe to direct the food down into a dish.
Yeah, she's had this set up for years.
Yeah.
But
that was
it
like
not
the
a
only
product.
option at the time.
Yeah. So like Mouse says, the way that the thing works is you've got this 6-liter reservoir where you put the dry food in, and it has like a wheel inside that spins, and it's like a gumball machine basically, where it's got the little pockets, and each pocket holds about a tablespoon of food. And I say about because it's not like a perfect measurement, but about a tablespoon of food. So what happens is when it's going down, is instead of it dropping like this, it's pulling from like one thing or whatever. So
it makes
ends up
funnel.
it ends up like sloping. So when it slopes, the machine has like something in it to detect whether there's food in or not. And the problem is that there will be a fair bit of food, but it'll all be like sloped, and then the machine has a little light on it that turns red to be like, hey, where's the food? And it doesn't mean that it won't try to give food out, but there's a chance that when it does that, it may not give
enough.
A full tablespoon. Satsy says, can you shake it? You can, although if you shake it, Kepler's going to run across the house and be like, oh,
scoop.
and if it's not time to eat, it's a little disappointing for him. So you can obviously get by this by just filling it a lot. We don't have it filled all the way to the top. Because with just one cat eating, with just a few meals, like it would take a long time to eat.
And it stays fresher better in the zip bag that the one food it is in, and the other one's in a food safe that has a gasket on it. Yeah. So that stays fresher, so we don't fill it all the way. Yeah.
My issue with it, and this probably wouldn't be an issue for most people, but it's something I just think you should be aware of, is that the measurement is a tablespoon. You can tell it how many tablespoons to give, but you can't do anything less than a tablespoon. So, as a result, you need to make sure that if you were going to get something, like we're going to get this specific one for your cat, that you know exactly how much food the cat needs, and it's going to work out using, tablespoons. Because if you need to feed the cat less than that for any particular reason, you can't do less than that. But again, for most people, a tablespoon should be fine. That being said,
is it on our Amazon list? Cassie wants to know.
I had not put it on the Amazon list because I wanted to use it for a little bit. But at this point, I think I'd be comfortable recommending it because we've had it for a few weeks. I think the big thing to take away is are there a few quirks with it? Yeah. Are they worth dealing with for the price? I think so. For the convenience of it will feed the cat. It does. It feeds the cat, and I think that's the coolest part of it is, it removes the dependency on you, which is helpful because then the cat isn't coming up to you and being like, give me the food.
He does that less.
Yeah, because Kepler now does that a lot less.
He knows when it's time for wet food and we can't automate that, so he will come over and paw at us.
Yeah, so would a nicer one do more stuff? I mean, probably. And they have ones that connect with an app, and I very specifically didn't buy one of those because a lot of them don't have buttons, and that horrified me. I was like, no, this has got to have physical buttons. Because I don't want something that only connects with some janky app that doesn't work. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it works. It works. It has a few quirks, but I would, at this point, I would recommend it for the cost, absolutely. If you want to spend a little bit more and try and find one that is a little bit better, you could, but again, for $65, it's it's hard to argue that.
That was a loud subby.
I guess sometimes they're loud, or maybe it's just because
some of them are louder. I don't know.
Anyway, that was Picotron gifting tier 3 sub to Adri. Thank you, Picotron. Appreciate it. Also, I hope Adri's doing well. She's probably asleep.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. And
it's 7:30 in the morning out that way.
And we haven't seen Jules in a bit, so I hope Jules is getting some sleep too. Yeah. I'll Chaz make them louder so you win. Fair. Okay. Well, that's it. That's it. I hope you all have a lovely Tuesday. And we'll be back on Thursday then.
Another breakfast stream.
Yeah. And like I said, I'll get another, if I don't get a vlog out today, I'd be very confused what happened. So,
yeah, me too.
I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be a thing that I do.